What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. And I know I've been doing a lot of prediction videos predicting Bad Blood weeks in advance, predicting WrestleMania months in advance. And I've been really enjoying that, doing that content for you guys, because it's really just fun to do. But today we're not going to do that. We're going to probably do some more stuff like that. Maybe later this week or maybe early next week, so stay tuned. But today's video, we're going to be predicting who should dethrone every current champion across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So we're going to be trying to guess who's going to dethrone and take the title off the current landscape of champions across all three of those brands. Comment down below, let me know who do you guys think should dethrone a lot of these champions, and who do you guys think is the next step to hold these titles. Let me know in the comment section down below. But we're gonna start off. We're not gonna do it in any particular order. We're just gonna just go boom, boom, boom. It's just gonna be like that. So we're gonna start off with Monday Night Raw. We have Gunther, who is the World Heavyweight Champion, and there are only two people that I think probably should dethrone him for that world title. The first one being Jey Uso, because if you look at their story, you could build a great story between the two. Jey Uso finally trying to get a singles title for one, and finally winning that world title, but he is not the guy that I think is going to win and beat Gunther for the championship. The person that I think is going to dethrone Gunther is Ilya Dragunov. I think that is the match that people want to see. I think that's the match that people are going to want to see be set up in the near future. And I think with their story and their past, I think he makes all the sense in the world to have him be the one to dethrone Gunther and become your next world heavyweight champion. On to the next title that we're going to be talking about on SmackDown. We're going to talk about the WWE Championship, or the W Undisputed Universal, whatever you want to call it, held by Cody Rhodes. Now, with him, it kind of seems like it's almost inevitable who's going to take the title from him. It seems like it's going to be The Rock, but I don't think he is going to take the title from him at all. The person I think is going to take the title from Cody is going to be the Viper, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton. I think he is the guy that it should take that title from him in my personal opinion. But we will see how that plays out. But the person I think is going to take the title from Cody is going to be literally none other than Randy Orton. I know people are going to say the Bloodline, his title is going to be in jeopardy when the Bloodline's around, and that's true. When the Bloodline's there, you can honestly say his title is really in serious jeopardy of him losing his title. Outside of that, they haven't really booked anybody to seem to where when he's facing these guys, they have a chance to beat Cody because of the way they've been portraying a lot of the people that go up against him. So that's one of the biggest things that they've been doing as of right now. But like I said, Randy Orton to be your next WWE champion. Back now, going over to Monday Night Raw, not Monday Night Raw, but over to NXT. We have the NXT Championship held by none other than Ethan Page, all ego Ethan Page. The person I think is going to take the title from him is going to be Trick Williams. They're already setting it up next week on NXT. A last man standing match between none other than Trick Williams and Pete Dunne. The winner faces Ethan Page for the NXT Championship on the first episode of NXT on the CW. So they're already kind of setting that up. Trick Williams wins his last man standing match against Pete Dunne, advances to face Ethan Page, and then wins the NXT Championship back. Back over to Monday Night Raw. We're talking about the WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan, who's been holding that championship. The person I think that's going to take the title from her is Rhea Ripley. Now, when do I see this happening? Maybe on the first episode of Raw on Netflix. I think that's when I see her losing to Rhea Ripley, and then maybe she gets it back at some point. But that's for another video. Um, but I think it's safe to say that Rhea Ripley is going to be the one to dethrone Liv Morgan and become your next women's world champion. Over to SmackDown for the WWE Women's Championship held by Nia Jax, the Queen. Nia Jax. The person I think that's going to take the title from her is Tiffany Stratton. I think Tiffany Stratton cashes in and becomes your next women's champion, because I think it's safe to say that's the way I see her losing that title. I just don't see anyone else winning it right now unless they bring back Charlotte, and I don't see them giving it back to Bayley after they just had her lose it. So I gotta say, your next women's champion is going to be Tiffany Stratton. Over to NXT for the NXT Women's Championship held by currently by Roxanne Perez. The woman that I think is going to take that title from her is Julia. They already set it up at their last week. They're kind of teased it on NXT No Mercy when she made her when she actually got in the ring to have a stare off with Roxanne, and then this past week on NXT she called out Roxanne. They were in the ring, and she called her out for a match for the title at the first NXT episode on the CW. So that match is pretty much confirmed. That match is going to happen, and I think there we will see Julia become your new NXT Women's Champion. Back over to Raw now, talking about the Intercontinental Championship currently held by none other than Braun Breaker. Now, honestly, I do think the person that's going to take the title from Braun Breaker is Jey Uso. I don't know if that's going to be a bad blood or somewhere down the line, but I do think Jey Uso is going to become your next Intercontinental Champion at some point down the line. I think they want to give him that singles victory at some point, and why not have him at least hold a mid card title if they're not gonna have any plans to put a world title on him anytime soon, or if ever. At least you can say he's held that Intercontinental title or whatever the case is. So, but yeah. Over to SmackDown, we're going to be talking about the United States Championship, currently held by the megastar LA Knight. Now, the person I think is going to win the U.S. Championship from him, it comes down to two people. One of them is not signed yet to the company, and the other is the person that is signed to the company that I think probably will take the U.S. Championship from him is none other than Kevin Owens. I think if they're going in this route of Kevin Owens turning heel, then I think you could get away with him going after that U.S. Championship and having him be the one to dethrone none other than LA Knight to become your next U.S. champion. And the other person, even though he's not signed to the company, I think Ricky Starks comes in and makes a big deal by winning the U.S. Championship. I think that'd be a cool way to introduce him and really get people familiar with him and everything like that and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be mad at it. But over to NXT, we have the NXT North American Champion, Oba Femi. Now this one is gonna be hard just because how how they've been booking him. They've been booking him like a monster. Like he says in a lot of his promos, he's the mountain that you cannot climb, and whoever does finally climb that mountain and take that title is pretty much going to be next up in the company, and it's going to be treated as a big deal. But as of right now, I really don't know. I mean, they haven't, and I looked at the NXT roster, and there's really not that many people that I can see possibly beating him unless they decide to have somebody from the main roster come over to NXT and make a move there. But outside of that, I really don't know. So I'm gonna have to spitball on this one. Maybe they give it to Javon Evans. Maybe because if they want him to be a big deal. They kind of been trying to push him a little bit to be a bigger part and a bigger key part of that show. So maybe you have him do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he holds the title for a long time, even longer than he already has. So that's I just put Javon Evans out there. And since we're talking about NXT, since Raw and SmackDown don't have a women's mid-card title, we're only going to talk about the women's mid-card title for NXT, which is currently being held by Kalani Jordan. She's been holding that title for about 2 months. She's a great in-ring worker, but I think the thing with her is she needs a character to fully get more and people invested into what she's doing. I think that's the one thing that's really holding her back. You look at the current landscape, I think a lot of people can say Jada Parker is on that list. I think for sure of candidates that could potentially win. I think she's like my number two person that I think could win, but the person I think is going to win is not even in NXT. I think they've been doing this NXT versus TNA type of partnership, and I've been seeing other people come over from NXT, not NXT, but yeah, from TNA to go over to NXT to compete for these titles. We've seen Jordan Grace go over to compete against Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. We've seen Joe Hendry go up against none other than Ethan Page recently on NXT No Mercy for the NXT Championship. We're seeing the Rascals, who won a triple threat number one contenders match, to go up against Fraxium for the NXT Tag Team titles. So it's only a matter of time before I see somebody from TNA to go over to NXT to compete for that NXT Women's North American Championship. And the person I think she is going to lose, Kalani's going to lose it to, is somebody from her past, somebody that she would not expect to take the title from her, none other than our former best friend, formerly known as Dana Brooke, but currently Ash by Elegance. I think you could really play this story up. I mean, former friends turn bitter enemies, like kind of like what they did with Wesley, Conda, and but she's already kind of a heel in TNA anyway. But it would pretty much her be turning heel on her, because that was the plan before her release. She was going to turn heel on Kalani anyway, and that would have led to them feuding. So I can see them doing that, running that back, and finally giving us the feud that we were supposed to have years and years ago. So I wouldn't be mad at it. But on to back over to Monday Night Raw, talking about the tag team division. We're going to talk about the current tag team champions, none other than the Judgment Days. Excuse me, Finn Balor and JD McDonough. They've been holding these championships for over 2 months and haven't defended them. Um, and the way the current landscape of Raw is right now, I don't know who's taking the titles from them. I'm sorry. I really don't know. Like, they haven't really built anybody up to really be a threat, in all honesty. But maybe they give it to New Day. I wouldn't be surprised if I think whoever does beat them is probably going to be a babyface tag team. So why not? You know what? This might be a hot take. I think maybe you have Motor City Machine Guns come over to the main roster. I know people have been saying they go to NXT. Why not bring up to the main roster and have them defeat the Judgment Day for the tag team titles? I think you could do that. Or if you wanted to, I think basically with Jey Uso pretty much getting the pin over the tag team champions numerous times, maybe you have him and Damian Priest. Okay, I'll take that back. I think the people that's going to challenge them and potentially win the tag team titles, and then your next tag team champions, Jey Uso and Damian Priest. On to SmackDown side, currently held by the Bloodline. And this one is kind of different because it's only revolving around three teams. That being, if it's the Bloodline, not New Day, DIY, and Street Profits. Those are the only three teams that the tag team division has pretty much revolved around. They haven't really done anything with Legado. They haven't really done anything with Pretty Deadly. They haven't really done anything with those tag teams. So they're pretty much not even irrelevant to the story. So if it's not any one of them, I think maybe if you wanted to, you could do a random pairing. Maybe I've seen people throw the idea of Roman and Cody teaming up for a one-off, and then they take the tag titles, but I don't think they should do that. The person I think that's going to take the tag titles from them maybe is a returning Usos. Maybe if you get Jimmy and Jay back together, maybe they go after the tag titles on SmackDown and win them. We will see. But I think currently, right now, without me just fantasy booking and all that, I think the person that's going to take the tag titles from the Bloodline is probably going to be Street Profits. I think Street Profits will probably get a win at some point because they need something. They need to do something with them. So I really don't know what else you could do with them. I'd really, unless you decide to split them, and it doesn't seem like they're going to do that anytime soon. So I just say just let them get another tag title run because it's been a long time since they had a tag title run anyway. Over to NXT, talking about the NXT tag team titles currently held by Fraxium. I think there's two teams that I can see them losing it to. One is OTM because I think they've been trying to build them up to being a future tag team champion and being future challengers because they've never faced Fraxium before. So you could do that. And I think the other team that I think could honestly win it is Gallus. I think Gallus is another team that I think could potentially win if given the opportunity to do so. They were former NXT Tag Team Champions before, so maybe you give them another run. They haven't really been doing too much. They've been kind of losing a lot, and usually when a team or somebody goes on a lot of L's, they're almost due to win a big match at some point, and what bigger match than the NXT Tag Team title? So, and then the final thing that we got to talk about on NXT is the Heritage Cup currently held by Charlie Dempsey. I think Charlie Dempsey is probably gonna lose that to somebody maybe like a Riley Osborne, possibly. I think either Riley Osborne, maybe you have him lose it to Javon Evans, possibly, since they already started teasing that. I think that's the only two people I can really see dethroning him for that, but that's neither here or there. But those are the people that I think are going to become your next champions in the company. Comment down below if you agree with a lot of my picks or do you not agree. Let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. We're on the road to 300 subscribers with the ultimate goal is 10K. Like I said in every video, when I do hit 10K, I will do a giveaway where one of my lucky subscribers will win a WWE Championship from WWE Shop. So if you want to be a part of that and want to be that potential lucky subscriber that do win that giveaway, subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. You can always change your mind in the future, but why would you want to do that? I'm trying to give you guys daily wrestling content. The grind never stops. The grind doesn't stop with me over here. And super kick that like button helps that my channel gets pushed across the platform so more people can see what I'm doing over here on YouTube. Superman punch that post notification bell so every time I post a new video, whether it's a reaction video, rant video, live stream, predictions video, any type of video, you could be in a loop of things when I do drop a video. And spear that subscribe button. It takes 3 seconds out of your day to do those 3 things for me. Helps in the progression of my channel. So please go do that for me. I appreciate everybody who's been showing love on the channel, all the new subscribers that I've been gaining this week. I appreciate every single one of you. You can subscribe to anybody, but you chose to subscribe here. I am very appreciative for every single one of you. Hope everybody has a great day, a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.